is that a client would come on and say, I'm going to start with 10 hours. Sorry, my dog is hanging out down here for the first time ever. Um, I'm going to buy my 10-hour block, and then maybe they decide, okay, what I have my contractor working on isn't quite done, so I'm going to add a couple of hours onto that. But my guess is they start with a larger buy. So I would give them a variety, right? Excuse me. There's no limit to how many listings you have in here.
Right.
So I
Yeah,
would be
because
as specific and load as many as possible.
it may not be super intuitive for a client to come in and look at my website audit. And so Jen, and we set this up months ago, and of course my brain has melted since then, but the per unit, so
Yeah.
the we can't adjust that to say per hour, right? We're only able to have.
No, the unit would be an hour. So you have to let them know in the description that this is 1 hour of my
Yeah,
services, and I would go further and say that would be utilized for
yeah.
creating a social media strategy or creating concepts for a campaign, or right, those hourly blocks are generally going to be um, strategy, planning, other things that aren't that obvious unit, like I am going to buy a 5-page website, or I am going to buy a 1 month social media package. It's more for that I am going to help a client maybe discover what they need. I'm going to advise a client through a campaign.
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, and some clients may decide that they want to buy a couple of hours of your time to begin with, to kind of figure out what they need and to go from there.
Yeah. Okay. And just so you guys know, Jake and Allie, and anyone who's watching this replay now that I've finally pushed record, um, those form fields have been custom like written by us, so we can add anything to it that we feel is missing. Like we took a stab at it and said, specific project deliverable, average duration.
Yeah.
If you don't put anything in that field, I don't believe it'll show up, that little bold section there. But if there's additional things that we need to add to that for more clarity for the client, if you're getting the same recurring question, please let us know and we'll add that. But I mean, really, it's pretty simple. I think what we're saying is, yeah, if you want to do something like what I'm thinking of doing, which is having an audit. I don't have the bandwidth right now to do monthly ongoing services, and nor do I necessarily want to be that type of contractor, but I love the old like 1 hour audit or sit down road mapping for someone, that strategy piece. So I love that idea, Jen, of saying, okay, if it's going to be $150 for a unit, I know it's going to take me more than an hour or two, but I'm going to spend an hour with them. Then I'm going to give them a 1 pager. I'll write that in the deliverables. But that I could also have what you're saying is like, so I could call this the 1 hour website audit or strategy, the 5 hour website roadmap, and the 10-hour website something something, to make it a little clearer to them that you can have 1 hour of my time, 5 hours of my time, or 10 hours of my time.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said too, I would load as many services as possible to give clients options. And then I think for everyone, I would encourage you to have that hourly units. So let's say social media is your specialty. That's great. You may have clients that come through that don't know where to start, so they don't know what to buy. And so it may make really good sense to say, hey, this is a 2-hour package that's just consulting to help you roadmap a social media plan for what you will purchase. So I would really encourage everyone to do that.
Okay.
How
and
will
and
those,
communicate with us too. Like, we are looking for feedback. Like we've said, this is obviously, we're just launching this, and so there's going to be a learning period. So if something is not working the way you need it to, or like Kelly said, there aren't fields in there that you need, let us know, because our job here is really to ensure that you guys succeed and you're able to build your own businesses on this platform.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Where do I go to set these up?
What's that?
Where do I go to set these up?
Oh, okay. So we've had a hard time with people actually finding, I should have gone in here. Sorry, you guys. Let me just go
I
in.
had the same question too, Hallie.
Yeah. It's
That
Jen and I have been wondering why people aren't finding it easier, but we realized that it just needed to be clearer. So in the resource hub, there is places within here where it kind of does direct you to it, but we're going to make it more obvious.
If you click on build your profile, which is where you're going to want it, where most people get started. Oh, go up for a minute. Sorry.
It was the
Oh,
intro.
no, go back.
in the intro.
Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I tried to make it really obvious for you guys, but find the sign up to create your ninja listing here. So right on the intro, but
highlight that. Yeah, that'd be good.
We'll highlight it, and you know what else we'll do is we're going to put a button on the side here. So back in this course, the resource hub, we'll turn these two fun-looking millennials into a button that says log in and create your profile. So it's super obvious. But otherwise, Allie, it's in that intro for now, and I just copy pasted the link to right here. Oh, I'm already logged in, but yeah, so it's
Can you paste the link into the chat from the Zoom?
I sure can. Marketplace.socialschool.io. But also, yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I had a question about what you were saying before, Jen. On the page where you can see all the categories and all the items, Kelly, that was that tab. No, the next tab, I think.
Oh, yeah.
No, if you hit social market.
Okay.
Yeah, this page.
Yeah.
So as more and more are added, and people look at all categories just to see everything, won't that kind of be confusing for people? And how would I or someone keep all their listings kind of grouped together? So if I want to add, the second question is, if I want to add like an hourly service that relates to my other two,
right?
How do I keep that together so it's clearer to people?
Well, one thing you could do also is search by person, right? So if I go into Jake and I want to see what else Jake has, like very quickly, I can see your other listings there, which is kind of
right.
And this is kind of how we expect clients to come through, because they're going to want to know about you. They're not going to take a look at a tile listing here and say, oh, okay, this is what I want to buy. They're going to say, well, who am I purchasing this service from? So we fully expect for them to click on your profile and learn about your experience. And then, as Kelly showed, if you scroll down, you can see all of your services there.
Mm-hmm. But Jake, do you have a suggestion or a thought about how we could, because we can certainly adjust those categories. We had more to start with, and we pared them back to try and keep it to 7 or 8 to keep it a little bit less broad. But yeah, I think it's kind of like what Jen said. If someone's coming in, they know they need website or they know they need social media, and then it's a nice way to categorize that way. Because we could also certainly add a category for, hourly work or whatever, quarterly packages, but then that takes it out of the parent category of website or social media. I think you can only choose one parent category.
Yeah.
This platform certainly has limitations. So this is the out of the box version of ShareTribe. And we're talking with a developer right now to customize something that's a little bit more specific to our needs. It's just that it wouldn't happen tomorrow. And then the nice thing about getting to know this out of the box version of this marketplace tool is that it is teaching us a lot about what people actually need, both clients and contractors, before we would go build something custom.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a suggestion. I think wait and let it go, and then interview clients to see how they found it, and if the journey that they went through was clear to them or confusing to them. And
yeah, that's good feedback, Jake. And something else that we're looking at, I mean, we're always going to have plans for improvements that we want to do next, but one of the things we'd like to do is a badging system. So for instance, all of our, first 10 or 20, whatever it is, contractors will get a little badge that identifies them as one of the founding members. And what that will do is tell clients that you are more familiar with the process and the platform, and hopefully have a little bit more experience in this type of setup. And so hopefully that will set you apart from some of the newbies. And
then further to that, so within your listing, we've left comments on, and sometimes that can be a bit funny, but I think it's going to be for the best here to have the comments show up, because this is, remember, clients asking you questions. If they hire you and you start the correspondence process, then you're going to also obviously have a chat back and forth too, which is a private correspondence, but this is a place for public discussion and public reviews, which will give people far more information about you. And when you are answering those public discussions, like, I think this is a really important point for people that are considering hiring you, to also see what others have asked and how you've responded, just like how normal reviews work. But I think that I've seen some listings in marketplaces like this where there's like just so much gold comments back and forth between, you know, would-be clients and the contractor. And I think it goes a long ways in getting them hired, because you can become, you know, more human as you go with more discussions and questions answered.
Oh, good point. I'll keep it professional and beneficial for others who may view it in the future then.
Yeah, I mean, it might even be worth some of us, I might try experimenting on my profile or my listing to say, ask me anything here, like, got questions, I'm standing by, you know?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a really good idea.
What if we want to delete something?
Yeah, that's a good
It's
question.
super easy.
Oh,
So you just
okay.
go into edit your listing on the right side, kind of under that order button. And you can either edit something in there, like if you want to delete a paragraph or pricing. Is that what are you
Oh,
asking?
no, I meant
You
the
mean
comment.
within the comments?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
not sure yet. We'll have to
I'm not sure about that one. My guess is that you would probably have to send a request into Kelly and I, and we would probably have to go into the back end of the system and see if we could do that.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
if there is something that's offside or inaccurate, I mean, please reach out to us quickly so that we can remedy that. But I'm
Right.
hoping I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
Right. Could you also ban someone from the marketplace if?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And just so you guys know, oh, sorry, go ahead, Jake.
Just another follow-up question. So if I edit my listing, can I edit it? Like, I've already submitted it and it's been
Yes.
approved.
Yeah, so you can edit it, but we have to manually prove it. And, you know, we may not always have that on. We just thought initially, because so many of the people coming through, we don't know. We want to ensure that we're not getting people posting listings here that aren't digital marketing, right? Which can happen online. So we have opted for a little bit more control initially, not because we don't think your listings are great. Like I said, we just don't want people to come and start selling notebooks or who knows
Of course, I
what,
understand.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other piece about it is that with ShareTribe, so this is the public marketplace that people are going to see, and we'll be actually updating this domain as well, but we'll have a redirect going on, so it shouldn't affect anybody, but it will be socialmarketplace.io. But the thing about this is that with ShareTribe, whether I'm a client or I'm a contractor, I go in the same way.
Yes.
So like, it's kind of interesting in that, and think of it like Kijiji. I can go on Kijiji and I can post something, or I can go on Kijiji and I can buy something. So that's a further reason that we've had to have the approval listing process in place, because if I want to go in and hire someone like Katie, I believe I have to actually create an account in the very same way that I create an account if I want to be a contractor. So it's just one of those things where, yeah, unfortunately we have to keep an eye on things more because of that too.
Good.
Yeah. And Jen, can you just, for anyone watching that hasn't maybe made their way through the entire resource hub yet, the 4 little video lessons that we've got, can you just state where the little thumbnail graphics come from?
Oh, for sure. So if, as you're there, could you go back to the resource hub?
Yeah, let me just stop share and I got to go back to a new.
Sorry.
That's okay. Okay.
So if you scroll down all the way down, you'll see resources at the bottom here. So at the top, those first four are videos, and I can see for sure, Jake, that you have watched them because you have utilized all of the things that we went through there in your profile and your listing. So thank you.
I did.
I can tell, it's obvious. Thank you. And then at the bottom, we've got a resource section. And so both of these are going to be updated constantly. We want to give you guys as many resources, as much opportunity to succeed as possible. So right now we've got the 3. So we've got tips for creating a great bio. And it's just, a downloadable PDF for that one. Super easy. And I mean, it's, oh, thanks for moving on. These are the social market listing tiles. And so we have kindly suggested, asked that you use these listing tiles. And the reason being is it gives us a nice uniform look when you come to the marketplace. We expect that there'll be a few that try and go rogue so that they're stand out, but we want to be sure that we're playing fairly on the marketplace and everybody has equal opportunity to earn clients and work. And so these listing tiles just have a really uniform style to them. Now you can customize these any which way you want. So we have made, I think there are 10 of them in there, just to give you an idea of how they can look. Now, if you look at, which one is it? On the social market listing. Oh yeah, here we go. You can take this same style with the same dimensions and use any image or any wording that you want to lay on top of your tile. You don't have to use just these tiles that we've got here, but you are absolutely welcome to. You can take them, load them into Canva. They're all pinged, so you can edit them from there, or just use your, like I said, your own images. So long as they've got that same style that we have developed in the tiles, you're good.
I did edit mine. I like the images that you've chosen, but I realized that there's kind of some overlap in it. Kelly, if you could show all the tiles again.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to put, oh, okay, I'll go back here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I added I took the one that said digital ads and then I added Facebook campaign below it. But now I see the text in white overlaps.
So the way we kind of had hoped that it would work, Jake, is that the black font there is your category, and then the white font that's at the bottom is the more granular description of the service. So people can quickly see, okay, these are the social media tiles. And then underneath you can see, okay, this one's a strategy, or this one is actually creation.
Right. So I see, I don't want to fill up the tile with text like I did.
Yeah, of course.
I think I'm going to delete the word campaign in black so that the white doesn't overlap it.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. And remember too that you can edit these as many times as you want, and I'm trying to approve them really quickly.
Okay.
I get a little alert that somebody has made an edit to their listing or their tile. So
okay, I may do that.
Yeah, and I mean, if I don't respond as quickly as you need me to, send me a note, but I am trying to be on it and get those done really quickly.
What's the best way to send you a note?
You can email me.
Okay.
I think you have my email. Do you know what, Jake? Yeah. I'll just message it to you.
It's at socialschool.io. Yeah, I have it.
socialmarketplace.io. Jen at socialmarketplace.io.
There, I put it in the chat.
Yeah, thank you.
Jen, just to clarify what you're saying, you download these here from the resource hub.
Yeah.
And then when I pull that into Canva, do I have to rebuild it, or can we give everybody the source file in Canva, like the actual Canva file?
We absolutely could give a source file.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's been so long since we created these. In one of these documents in the social or the resource hub, there are actual specifics. So it has the dimensions that you build it in and even the color code. But yes, I absolutely, and we could probably put it right up top, just a source file.
Yeah, it'll just be a link. So when you create
Yep.
someone a Canva link that they can pull into their own Canva and edit it, it's just a URL. All they need is a Canva account.
Yep.
And then they'll have that all there and it'd be so easy rather than rebuilding it from scratch.
Yeah, agree.
Okay, sweet. Great. Allie, how are you feeling? Any questions?
We'll have questions for sure. I was going through my email and my one for to access the resource hub doesn't take me anywhere.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I can share my screen.
Gotten was
Hold on, I'll show you what I have.
okay.
Oh, can I share my screen? Is that okay?
Oh yeah, sorry. Go for it.
So this is the email, like the email that I got sends me here,
Perfect, yeah.
but then there's like nowhere to click.
Once you fill out your info there, you sign up for free. So we had to build this page for you to get access to the resource hub, which is built like a course in Kajabi. You have to fill out this so-called order form. We can't do it for you, unfortunately. So if you fill that out, hopefully then, and then what happens is immediately when you push sign up for free, you're forwarded to the resource hub. And it doesn't take long to go through. It's just like 4 quick lessons. And there's some info there on pricing and stuff too. Jake, as you went through it, any questions on how we've set up pricing?
No, I used the formula. Like I took my hourly, added the fee, added GST. I imagine I'll have to give an invoice to clients at the end so they see the GST and my business number, so because they can claim it back.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Should I say GST included somewhere in my listing?
I wouldn't do that until you start to see what people are asking you for. This is a really tricky thing with software. I'm dealing with this over on Kajabi as well as Mighty Networks, where not many platforms have baked in tax options where you can easily add a tax based on your jurisdiction. So then you're like including the tax in the price. And then if they ask for a tax or a GST detailed receipt, that's when we provide it to them. It's not illegal not to. It's for their accounting purposes. Many people don't care and they don't know, or if they've paid in US dollars, they don't think about it. But that's not to sound lazy. That's just like, we have pulled our hair out every which way on GST. I even hired a guy in India to build me a GST app to try and make it so that it would generate these receipts automatically. It's just been a nightmare. So bottom line, yeah, you price it. Let's say you want $1,000 for your photography package. You're going to put social markets 20% fee on top of that. And then your GST is only on your $1,000 and it is inclusive. And then if they ask for a receipt, you're going to probably then say, okay, you paid $1,000 for this and GST on that. Here's my GST number. And then you paid $200 social market software fee, or, you know, basically the hard cost, and the GST on that was 5% of $200.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry we can't do that for you. We would do that for you guys if we knew what your tax jurisdictions are. So it gets sticky for us when we're like, well, Jake lives in Ontario. I don't know if he baked in PST as well. So social market will always generate a receipt for the person the moment they buy. It's just not going to be detailed. So it's only if they come back to you and they say, can you give me more information and what's your GST number, that it's helpful to have a template for yourself that shows that. And that's what we have ourselves for our clients that ask. And then we recommend you guys do the same, and you can just easily fire it off to them if they need it.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
glad you asked, Jake. It honestly, I think it was the toughest piece of all of this, and we ultimately decided that while we wanted to figure it out for you guys, the capability does not yet exist, and it's not from a lack of looking. Believe me, we did. Well, and by we I mean Kelly. Kelly searched high and low, just couldn't make it go.
Thank you. That's fine. I have to record my income and GST separately, so I have a spreadsheet for that.
Perfect. Okay. Allie, don't worry. When you watch my video number 4, which is kind of a mess that I'm going to re-record with some actual slides to like use numbers so that my demos aren't just spoken. They're like, you know, shown. It'll make sense. It's not too
Yeah,
bad.
and Allie, honestly, like I think when it comes to invoicing, you just have to be sure that you're covering your own butt. So you want to be sure that you're obviously, if you're going to be over that, I can't even remember what the amount is, $30,000, you have to claim GST.
Right. In Alberta, yeah.
Yes, in
I think in
Alberta,
Canada.
yes. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and honestly, Jake, that's such a good point, because if you sell services to somebody in, you know, Alaska or Denmark, it's different. You don't necessarily, you're obviously not charging those clients GST, but your listing price is not going to change. So you're actually more profitable if you sell your services outside of Alberta.
Exactly. You don't have to worry about it, Jake, because let's say that like if your pricing is GST inclusive, which it is,
Yeah.
you're just making less money when a Canadian buys it versus if someone from
Yeah,
Denmark.
so that is like, Allie, I would keep that note. So your pricing that is on that listing needs to include GST. So let's say you want to charge $500 for a package, you should charge $525 instead, right? So that you've got that GST on there.
But even though I don't make enough annual income to,
So if you don't, if you're not going to make more than $30,000, then you don't have to. But I would cover your butt, right? Just build it in, because if you hit that threshold and you haven't been charging it, you still have to pay it.
Mm-hmm. I also would talk to an accountant, because when I was doing some digging, I swear I saw that it was quarterly, you guys. I don't even want
You have to pay the GST.
No, not remissions or remittances. It was the amount, the threshold. Didn't look. I just feel like we all think,
$30,000 a quarter?
yeah.
Who makes that?
I know.
Contracting.
I know. I just kind of got the feeling that maybe the rules had changed and the government's not letting people get away with not charging GST anymore, so that everybody qualifies. But anyway, the other thing about it is, you know, back to the point, Jake, sorry, you live in Canada, you always charge GST. So even if someone in Denmark buys, it would be more applicable to like someone selling in Denmark to someone in Sweden. They have their own tax to worry about.
Yeah.
But you're always going to be, again, it's worth talking to an accountant, because it can get a little bit tricky if you're, as soon as we were running at Social School, when we were running conferences physically in Manitoba or in Ontario, we had to charge PST. But if we were selling out of Calgary, a virtual course to someone in Ontario, we didn't, because, you know.
Right.
So anyway, good old tax. It'll really melt your brain. If there's one thing the last year has been frustrating with, it's like COVID and taxes. I swear it's been the hardest part of the year. Not like rebuilding a business or trying to set up software. It's just taxes.
Well, and I think in one of our sessions, I don't know if we'll do it on a Friday or maybe just a separate session, we will go through some education around accounting and kind of figuring out what that threshold is for when you should bring on a professional accountant is obviously in your own court. But I would certainly suggest that if you get to a point where you're starting to have to pay GST and it's becoming quite profitable, you can find online accounting services for monthly fees that do it all for you, that it's worth offloading, because the time that you spend going through all that paperwork and trying to figure it out in that mind melt, it's not worth it.
Yeah, or but then you want someone to ask questions to. I just have someone local who does my taxes, and I can ask her a question anytime. How do I charge GST on this situation or that situation?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm comfortable that I can just charge my fee and figure out the GST later.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hey, I have a final question for you guys, and if you have any other setup questions, please don't be afraid to ask. But what would you like to see out of the Agency Insiders group that we expedited the launch of yesterday in order to, you know, run this little event, because we realized that people needed a bit of help with their setup. And it'll be great for replays and just kind of ongoing correspondence. Jen has been dealing with a lot of individual emails, so we think that we can leverage the power of the group and start to answer questions en masse in there with those forum topics. But anything else that comes to mind that you guys would like, and what's too much, and what do you feel like would be helpful in terms of potential collaboration meetups?
set up my profile yesterday, so I'm still kind of navigating around, but I think it looks good so far. So I don't have any. Yeah.
Yeah. It does look pretty good. Maybe just tips on setting it up, like what's good to include in your portfolio, for example, because I don't have anything there right now. Or maybe we can read each other's bios and help polish them up for each other.
I like that.
Or because I'm sure mine could use some polishing.
No, sure. I think too, maybe from our end, it would be helpful if we're telling you guys where we're marketing, ad campaigns we're running, how we're trying to drive as many clients towards it as possible. And I think if nothing else, that keeps people excited about the marketplace to know that we're doing everything to get people there. And then hearing your success stories as it goes along too, you know, and if you know, we're seeing a lot of really great clients in the tech industry or whatever, then gosh, I would be so excited to partner with Startup Calgary and try and get more tech companies aware of social market or whatever it is. So maybe it's just kind of a great place for us to be giving each other ongoing intel and feedback and support.
Yeah, I agree. Like, especially if we start to see a lot of clients coming in from a particular industry, maybe even how to brush up your bio to attract those clients from that industry. And Jake, I love the idea of doing some collaborations, because one thing that we know for certain is we're going to have a wide variety of skill sets, and we may have clients coming in who need multiple skill sets, and so there may be opportunities there for you to you know, partner up with somebody else who is doing design work and you need a designer for your website or your social. So I think there's an opportunity for you to meet other really talented contractors in this space.
Yeah, that would be excellent. I've thought of that too. Like one thing I can offer is helping set up A/B tests on someone's website or landing page. And I'm familiar with a few landing page programs, like if it's Unbounce or certain things. But if it's like WordPress, I've never worked in there. And what if I get a client who wants an A/B test on their website and it's built in WordPress?
Yeah.
So yeah, sharing work with other contractors would be good.
Totally. Okay, awesome. The more you guys can get to know each other too, then the easier that becomes as well. And I don't think we envision having a 500 member marketplace. I think the beauty of social market is that if there's 50 freelancers in there, it can go really far and have a lot of collaboration like we just talked about. Cool. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Let us know if you need anything, Allie, as you go. I'll
Cool,
be
thank
building
you.
mine out the same as you. So, you know, I'll high
Awesome.
five you on the finish line.
Cool.
Oh, it's really nice to meet you, Allie. Thanks for
Yeah, it's
joining.
nice to meet you as well.
Keep the questions coming.
Yeah. Cool. Have a great Thursday, you guys. Happy Earth Day.
Right. Thanks.
See you soon.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.